All right, so now we'll take a look at getting the sidewalk put on the its own layer. So again, looking at some of this data here, we'll start over here in this corner. It's a small one. We've obviously got the handicap ramp and all that, but if we look at the sidewalk itself, if I select on it, you can see that there's 3 lines here. So depending on what I pick, you can see that's a partial line, which is probably part of the dimension. This one here, I mean, that's okay. I got that one and I can pick the others, but let's look at the third one. The third one actually looks like, could be used as a sidewalk. So I'm going to use that one as a sidewalk, and I'm going to come over, and again, just like we have before, creating a new layer. Like I mentioned, previously, this is because we don't have any of this, and what I'm doing is I'm building my template as we go on this first project. Once we have all these common layers that we have and use on our projects, and I won't have to do this. So for the sidewalk, again, we can probably make it, we could use a cyan color or a gray color. Let's go ahead and just use a cyan color. I'll make a thickness so that it at least stands out, and we'll protect it, and we'll create the layer group. So again, this is all, again, to your liking. Set it up the way you want. Let's make sure we got some consistency here though. So I'm going to put a underscore, not a dash. Oops, hit my calculator command. All right, so hit delete that. So we save that. Same thing, I messed up this one, so let me underscore that one as well. But just make sure we come back on this one because this is what we want to set in here. All right, so I'm going to close that. I was just making an edit at that point. So now we've got the sidewalk there. Now it's not closed, so it won't show us an area if we select on it. Right, so now if I pick on the sidewalk, it shows the length. So what we can do is simply right click and go into the edit option, and you can see here there's the start of the line, so we're editing the line string, and there's the end of the line. So we could just come in here and auto close that, and it'll just draw that line over to there. If we wanted to be more precise and account for this, we could make this last segment, instead of a straight segment, we could make it an arc or a smooth curve, and we could put in an additional vertice point in here. I'm not going to worry about that or show you that here. We'll show you that in another exercise. But you can see here, now we've got an area for that one. Again, I'm just showing you in the properties, it's showing the area, but when we do the report at the end, once we have all this, we'll get a full report of this information. This one here is a little bit more complex. It's broken into individual lines, and you can see that I don't have lines on top of lines. So in this particular case, what we could do is we could take this line and simply come over here, right click, and use the join lines command. And I'm just going to go ahead now and I'm going to pick this line here. You can see there's a real tiny gap between those two. That's fine. I'm going to just say yes, I want it to join. Then we're going to come down here and I'm going to pick this line here. Again, it's just got that gap, and I'm not too concerned about that. I'm picking that one, and now I'm picking this one. And now basically it goes all the way down to there. So just like before, I can right click now because it's still selected, and I can go to edit and then just click the auto close button, and now I've closed that sidewalk. But at the same time, let's come over here and name it sidewalk, and then let's put it on that layer sidewalk. So I'm just going to go to the layer drop down, put it on sidewalk, and now there's my area for that sidewalk. So again, the report's going to total both of those. I didn't name this one, so let's go back and name this one as well. Oops, I got to tab out of that first. Sorry, now I can pick this one. And let's give this one, we'll call this sidewalk dash, I'm just going to call it, sidewalk dash, and we look at my north arrows up here. So if I consider this being to the east, this being to the west, I'll call this west. and then tab, and then just be more precise. And the reason I'm doing this is because then in my report, it's actually going to show me a breakdown of, hey, this segment over here is your west sidewalk, this over here is your right sidewalk, or your east sidewalk. So I'm just going to call this east. Again, totally optional, depends on how detailed you want to be with some of this information. All right, so now we've got the sidewalk in there. And we also, just like the curb and gutter, what we probably want to do now is go to categorize, go to unknown, and let's go over and grab these other takeoff pieces. And what we want to do is move those to design. So I didn't do it for the sidewalk, the dumpster pad, or the building footprint. We want to make sure that any new layer we create, we put in the design category, all right? Because we'll be able to come back and associate site improvements to that. So I'm going to put it over in design, select the drop-down design, and click reassign. So now I move that data over there. Okay, all right, I'll show you that again. So let me go back to categories. Now under design, you can see that I've got my information. Now, again, I'll come back and I'll put on site improvements to that later. Because these are area-based and not linear-based, I'm not going to assign a site improvement to them because all I want to know is the area. The site improvement will come when we start to look at the 3D portion of this takeoff.